Introducing the new Pfaff Creative Expression 750. Sewing, quilting, embroidery, so many advanced features. Hello, this is George Moore, owner of Moore's Sewing Center in Southern California. And I want to talk about the Pfaff Creative Expression 750 machine. It's a sewing, embroidery, and quilting machine that is so amazing. So this is part of a new series, the Expression series. They have the model Expression 715, Quilt Expressions 725, and the top model Creative Expressions 750, which is also embroidery as well. But what makes Pfaff amazing and what they hold a good place in my heart is their original IDT feed system. This is built in, and it's integrated with the bottom feeding to give you superior sewing on all fabrics, from sheer fabric to denim fabric to quilting. It is really amazing. The Expression series also, it has a large opening, so it's ample room for sewing, and it has a new screen, and the screen it's a capacitive screen. It's 8-inch in size, and it's so easy to go through the different stitches, and they have a lot of sewing stitches and embroidery stitches, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. But it shows you everything you need to know, and it shows you real-time adjustments, which is wonderful. The other thing about it, it has on-screen help, from the most basic features like using the brand new needle threader, which is amazing, to doing some of their decorative stitches or functions. It walks you through step by step everything that you need on this. So let's talk about sewing, in this case, quilting, okay? I'm gonna just do a regular straight stitch, and we're gonna use a 1/4-inch foot that comes with it. And look at this laser. We have an adjustable laser now that we can adjust at any point across the area. Well, not any point, but a wider area than I've seen others. Or I can do a direct input. In this case, it goes right to a 1/4-inch. So I have, along with that, my 1/4-inch foot, I have that beautiful laser to guide my seam wonderfully. Another thing is their patchwork feature. The patchwork feature gives me the ability to first sew my first piece, if I'm going to be chain piecing, and stop and press reverse. Okay. Now I'm not going to use the foot pedal. I'm simply going to press go, and it automatically lowers the foot down, sews it in, stops, raise the foot just a little bit, and I put the next piece in. And this makes it so I can go one to the next without pushing it. And look how wonderful that is. Now we're talking about stitches here. No, when I was sewing, this is what I love about the Pfaff machines. They've always had so many amazing, beautiful stitches, just everything from applique to heirloom to utility to cross stitches. And this machine has a 9mm width. So that means that the stitch from left to right is 9mm wide. And Pfaff, they're the first to do that. No other brand had that. They've developed that in 1987, and then others had it after that. So there's a lot of original ideas the Pfaff company came out with. The other thing are their directional stitches. So like this right here, this beautiful stitch is sewing all different directions. They have stitches that are up to, well, like more than 60mm. Now, as you see this stitch right here, there's something unique about this. I'm working with metallic thread, which we know metallic thread is so difficult. So what happens with this machine, the Pfaff Creative Expression 750 has what's called active stitch, and it's a feature where it has these metered rollers that measure just the right amount of thread for each stitch. So working with this metallic, it is so amazing. Now, what about sewing? Okay, what about embroidery? If I want to do both, no worries. See, with this machine right here, I can take all my sewing stitches and I can put them in the hoop. And I'm using this with Shape Creator. So that same stitch, I was able to take several different shapes and arrange it so I can basically flower arrange with my stitches right in the hoop. And that is so awesome. So let's talk more about embroidery. This machine has a large embroidery area, and that gives me the capabilities to stitch out some beautiful designs like this right now has this beautiful design stitching out right here, and it's so easy to select this and select the design, and it goes right into the hoop or add to it, and the stitch out is beautiful. Now again, the capacitive screen is so easy to manipulate and work with. I love the action on this here, and the embroidery on it. There's several different things that you have an advantage with this here. First of all, I can actually scan what I'm working with in the hoop to give us a background. In this case, this checkered background, I want to stitch out the word Pfaff on there, and it gives me the ability to stitch it so beautifully and even. Now, with any of their designs, you can actually baste around the hoop to secure your stabilization, or even around the design, which in many cases I like doing that. Now, let's talk about shapes again, okay? But in this case, applique. I love applique. And like I mentioned, I love stitches. What about in my embroidery hoop, creating applique with my stitches? And that's what I can do with this. I can actually take and choose a shape, choose a stitch, and what an applique does, it stitches the placement line, so I can then put my fabric down there, and then it stitches down the fabric, and then I can cut it out. You know, I'm spinning up the camera here, but then it goes back, and the stitch I chose beautifully covers this wonderfully. Now let's go back to sewing. Remember the patchwork feature where I sewed and I measured the length of the piece and it measured it automatically? Well, I can do that with my decorative stitches. In this case, I'm going to do this decorative stitch and taper both ends. So I'm going to sew to a certain point and press the reverse, and it memorizes it. Okay, now that's exciting, and I can use that for sewing. But let's save that for future use. Now let's take another design, and there's so many designs. I'm going to take this design, and this has a very powerful sizing program, and it actually will size it, and it will reduce or increase the stitches as needed, but maintain the same type of stitch. So I'm going to size this flower down to the size that I want. And then I'm going to take that shape and arrange it, and I'm going to maneuver it opposite to the petals of this shape here so they fit beautifully in there, and embroider that. Now let's take that element, that decorative stitch element that was tapered that we put in patchwork, and I'm going to take that in shapes and make a star that fits perfectly right in here. So you see, I can take my embroidery designs, my applique, my decorative stitches, and combine everything. And this is why I love this machine so much. So the regular retail price of this machine is $11,499, and that is why we've sold so many of these machines. This is worth it with all these features. But right now, for a limited time, we're offering this for $89.99. And that is going to go quickly, and it's only while supplies last. We have interest-free payments as well as free shipping across the country. But don't wait. Click on the link to order. If you have questions, you can email us at customerservice@moores-sew.com or call us at 1-800-865-9664. Bye for now.